Okay, so before we get into this episode, right, I want to say something real quick. This isn't my first time doing a podcast, y'all. I tried this once before. Different names, no structure, no real direction, just an idea and some fancy equipment. And it stopped at episode 10. Not because I couldn't do it at all. It was because I wasn't really ready for it yet. I was speaking on a lot of things that I didn't fully understand myself. So when I came back with Word Forward, that wasn't random. That was all after I did the work on me. My mindset, my discipline, my structure, my direction. So yeah, it says we're on episode 10, but if you've been really paying attention, we're technically on episode 11. And everything before this, that's my trail. That's proof that growth isn't going to look clean and that failure is a big part of it. And it's proof that you just can't skip the steps. I just want y'all to remember something. You're not going to avoid failure, but you have to build through it. And all those mistakes that you make, all those scars that you have to patch, that's what's going to turn your thing to something undeniable. So yeah, we made it to episode 10. This one hits different for me. Because this time, I'm not celebrating what doesn't work. I'm standing on all the systems that does. But all right, let's get into it, y'all. I'm going to say something that's going to sting a little bit. Most people don't hate being real. They hate what transparency is going to ask to them. Because that doesn't just inform you, it confronts you. It finds the version of yourself that you've been protecting all along. And then it asks you, is this actually who you are? Or just who you got comfortable being? And that question right there, most people spend years running from it. Welcome back to Word Forward, y'all. I'm Damien J Branch, and today it's hitting a little different. We made it to episode 10. And remember last episode, we touched a lot on truth, and that feels like something worth acknowledging on this one. So I wanted to do something I haven't really done yet on this show. I wanted to tell y'all why I built it. And this is not going to be some type of elevator pitch version either. It's not a polished one, but it's not the easy version. This is the real reason and the honest one. It's because I got tired. I got tired of surface level motivation that doesn't really go anywhere. Tired of all the conversations that sound deep, but they really don't say anything. I got tired of watching people perform honesty instead of actually practicing it. So I figured if I'm tired of it, I'm pretty sure somebody else out there is too. But let me be specific about something, because this word gets misused all the time. When I say honest speech, I don't mean rude speech. I don't mean careless speech either. I don't mean somebody hiding behind, I'm just keeping it real, just so they can say whatever they feel like they want to say. And I don't mean that performative truth either. You know, the kind that sounds bold, but it's really more about the speaker than it is the message. I mean the kind of honesty that actually costs something to say. The kind where you're not fully sure how this is going to land, but you need to say it anyway, because not saying it is going to help you feel worse. That kind of speech is rare now, like really rare. A lot of people have softened up so much to the point that by the time their message arrives, there's nothing left of it. And I don't want to do that here, because growth doesn't always start with encouragement. Sometimes it starts with somebody finally saying the things that nobody else would. Now, I want to be really fair here. When people resist uncomfortable truth, it's not always weakness. Sometimes it's just self-preservation. It's exhaustion. It's somebody saying to themselves, I already know about that. I'm just not ready to deal with all that yet. And I understand that. I really do. But here's the thing about truth that people keep postponing. it doesn't leave. It just sits there waiting, because most people aren't fighting the truth itself. They're fighting what the truth is going to require of them. It might require admitting something, changing something, outgrowing surroundings, facing something that you've been managing for years. And that's real weight. I'm not going to pretend that that isn't. But the weight of carrying something unaddressed for years, that's heavier every single time. But see, this is where accountability comes in, right? And I need to reframe that word just for a second, because accountability has gotten a bad reputation. And when people hear it, they start to think, uh-oh, I'm being judged. I'm being shamed. Somebody's starting to attack me. Somebody's trying to make me feel small right now. But that's not what accountability is. Real accountability is alignment. It's somebody or something holding up a mirror to you and saying, didn't this used to matter to you? And does your life, the way you're living, actually reflect that? That's it. That's the whole thing right there. And it's not an attack. It's just a check-in. And if you actually want to grow, you need those check-ins. Not just once, on the regularly. Because the gap between who you say you are and how you actually move, that's the gap that a lot of people get stuck. And most of them don't even realize this. And that's exactly why conversations matter so much to me. And I want to be clear about that. I'm not talking about debates. You see, debates, they're usually about winning a side. Somebody has to come out on top, right? And then somebody has to try not to feel disrespected. But I'm talking about actual conversation, for real. The kind where you're not just waiting around for your turn to talk. The kind where you actually let something land before you even lean in to try to respond. The kind where you're willing to leave with a different perspective than the one you came to the convo with. That kind of conversation gives truth room to breathe. And we're kind of getting worse at doing that. It's not because people are getting more dumb. It's because everything around us is designed for a reaction now. You know, fake takes, hot opinions. You have to pick a side argument, move quick, or respond immediately to a comment before you look crazy, that type of thing. And the people who get stuck, really stuck, usually get stuck in one of these two places: an echo chamber or silence. And neither one of those places will move you forward. So that's why I built this. It's not because I have all of the answers or try to act like I do, because I never will. And I never will pretend to. Because I wanted truth to have a place to it, really exist and live. A real place, not a polished one, not a perfectly packaged setup, not some fake deep podcast. A place where honesty still matters. A place where you can come and actually hear something that holds weight and has some substance behind it. Where reflections get treated like strength, not a weakness. And where accountability is not confused for disrespect. This is where uncomfortable truths don't get avoided, just because they might sting a little bit. That's what I wanted this to be. And honestly, that's what I'm still building right now. And if you're still here at episode 10, then you already know what time it is. So let me say this plainly. Word Forward is not going to be for everybody, and that's okay. It's for the person who's tired of fake depth, tired of motivation that just sounds good, but it really doesn't move anything. You know, they're tired of polished words with no real weight behind it. It's for the person that already knows something is in their life that needs to shift. And they rather face that with honesty than to keep building a life that really doesn't fit, but they still pretend that it does. Those are the people I'm talking to. In every episode, you know that feeling when you're putting on a pair of shoes and they almost fit, right? Like close enough to where you just keep wearing them. But then after a while, you feel it. And a lot of people are living their life like that, in identities that just almost fit them, in stories about themselves that almost feel true, and in ways of living that are just close enough to comfortable, but not quite honest. And the work, the real work, is having the courage to take them off and then figuring out what actually fits you. And that's not always a comfortable process, but it's the only process that's going to lead to something real for you. So if this shoe fits, wear it, right? Because the one that you might be wearing right now probably wasn't your size anyway. And once you see that clearly, you can't unsee it. So you might as well start now. And if this episode connected with you, share it with somebody you know in your life that wants real conversation, not just content, more real conversation. Follow Word Forward on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and drop a comment and tell me this. What kind of truth do people like to avoid the most? I want to read the answers to that one. And if we want to take the conversation further, meet me over in the Inner Circle community. I'll leave the link in the description and we can continue this. We're 10 episodes in, y'all. And now we locked in. This is Word Forward. I'll see you in the next one.